What's up, Solar Warriors? Today is Tuesday, January 28th, 2025. My name is Jarrett McAllister, the virtual Solar Pro, and this is Tuesday Training. I'm alongside my co-host, Tom Cotter, Jonathan Bernasso. Gentlemen, I missed you last week. Good to see you. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing amazing. It's good to have you back, and glad you're feeling better too, man.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Were you up late this past couple nights celebrating in Kansas City, Tom?
Yeah, I knew that there was a game because Rick Joseph texted a few of us, and then I knew who won because of all the fireworks that went off in our neighborhood.
Sounded like Afghanistan all of a sudden, and then you're like, what's going on here? Oh, the Chiefs did it
Yes,
again
yeah. For
against
those of
Rick
you that don't
Joseph's
know,
Buffalo Bills.
I live in the Kansas City area. So, for those of you that don't know, an area that power is not in, and yet I have a thriving power business.
So true, so true. And another man who lives in a football area who just got a new head coach, Mr. Jonathan Bernasso out of Vegas, who just picked up Pete Carroll as his head coach.
Oh,
How
wow.
stoked are you on that? Did that just rock your world, Jonathan?
What sport are we talking about?
Yeah,
Football.
exactly.
Oh, right on. Super Bowl party. Super Bowl commercials. Let's go.
All good stuff. Fun times when I'm the only one that knows anything about sports around here. All right.
No,
With
that's
that
not
being
true.
said, hey, you guys, we have an incredible training for all of you today. But before we kick that off, we're going to start this like we do every week, and that's with some success stories. So I want to hear about your success over the past week. If you closed a deal, right? You grew your team, you overcame some adversity. We'll keep it short, 60 seconds or less. Raise your hand. Don't be shy. And especially if you're new, we love hearing from new people here and hearing about your successes,
Yes, definitely new people too.
especially new people, Bill. All right. Oh, who's Jordan Shaw? I've never heard his name before. Jordan, I see your hand raised. Welcome to the team training.
Hey, Jared, how are you doing today?
I'm doing lovely. Thank you for asking.
So, in the car, and but my win is actually not even really solar related. It's overcoming something I set my mind to go do something, and I totally did it this weekend. I went off the deep end, decided to compete in my first Spartan race, and actually finished the race. So we did that.
That's freaking awesome, bro.
Yeah,
How
which
was
is
it?
good.
You crushed it?
Yeah, it was good. It was an hour and 27 minutes was my time. Didn't get all of the challenges done, but it's a good one to really level set exactly kind of where you're at physically. So, because certain things were easier than others. And I don't traditionally run. So that was 3.7 miles in this specific track, which I think was one of the hardest parts was keeping the pace and really going through it. And it was good, but I completed about, I think it was 16 out of 20 of the challenges, so which was pretty decent. That was actually on the course. So
Good
yeah,
on you,
I
bro.
could not move the next day. Oh, and then
I
I signed like a battery retrofit thing over the
Oh,
weekend, so that
okay.
was
And
my
then just
win.
did a little battery retrofit. I will tell you just quick story. In 2010, I was like starting my health journey and trying to get in shape. And I signed up for a Tough Mudder. Now, this is back when they first began. I think it was in Squaw Valley. And we started at the base, went to the peak. It took us over 8 hours to do it. Um, and I was not nearly in the shape I am today. I couldn't walk the next day. It was the most brutal, grueling task I had ever did in my entire life. But the sense of accomplishment at the end, doing that's a huge feat, man. Great job. That is a killer win. And the retrofit's cool too. But I like the Tough Mudder.
I had to throw
Good.
that one.
Good stuff. All right. Tom, did you have your hand raised? Did you want to share a win?
I was clapping for Jordan. Anthony
Oh,
Hall had his hand raised. If you were trying to come into the conversation here.
Nope, I'm just enjoying everything, guys. I was just going to refer him to Red Rocks. If anybody's been, that's one of the hardest things I've ever done when I lived in Denver is Red Rocks doing the stairs. And if anybody's familiar, it's at high altitude, and it's religious thing for some people up there. But congratulations on what he completed is what I was wanting. So good job.
That's badass. Yeah, very cool. I love all those physical challenges. I have a win I'll share, but Jonathan, why don't you go ahead? It looks like you have your hand raised patiently.
Yeah, I just want to give a little tip and a shout out to my teammate manager, Ashley here. One of the things we do is when the install is done, we wait a few days and we ask the project manager to upload a few pictures of the install. And as you can see here on the right, we remind them, here are some photos of your solar panels, share with your friends, earn $1,000. And we send them a few cool photos. This was Tuesday, and Wednesday, my brother's interested. Give him a call. He doesn't like tequila. He likes whiskey. Because I also give gifts when I sign people up and they get referred. So just a friendly reminder to always be pitching the $1,000. Send them pictures. Tell them what to do. Make it fun. And I have a call with him at 12:30. He's signing up for a SunGage loan. So activities, shout out Ashley.
I do have one to share, Jared. It's not for me, but it's for one of my teammates that couldn't be here today. We had a call this last Friday. He was sharing with me, he had a project that was installed that the utility was being difficult. It caused a big delay. Customer got pretty upset about the delay, wasn't very understanding. Everything got installed, got PTO'd. It just took longer than expected, and the customer was very upset about that delay. And so my guy John went and got a really nice Cutco knife. This guy's a hunter, and got the knife engraved. And it was like 180, 200 bucks for the knife. And went over and delivered it to him. And the guy was just super, super excited and nice about John doing something to make up for the delay. You know, not a huge spend, but just a nice thing that John actually went back and talked to him face to face and brought him that gift that was unexpected, right? It was an unexpected gift. It made just a huge difference.
Love it. Those gifts really go a long way. They truly do. All right. And then Justin, looks like you have your hand raised.
Yeah. Hey, everybody.
Hey, Justin.
So I was going to talk about one that was kind of cool. So I've actually had a pretty decent month, considering like a lot of the lead sources that I use have been shut down for, basically about 6 weeks now, due to that time of year. And so this is the time of year where everybody's like, oh, it's a slow time for solar. The sun's not shining. People aren't thinking about it, all that kind of stuff. But this is why follow-up is so diligent. And this is why treating the opportunities that you have with the respect they deserve and not taking anything for granted can really work out for you. So I have one specifically that I talked to. I think I started talking to him in April of 24. And, he was a widower, retired gentleman. And he's in Massachusetts. And, he seemed interested in solar. We started talking a little bit. Then I couldn't reach him for a few weeks. Then he hits me with a text message, right? And it's a text message that was, oh, well, it looks like I'm going to be selling my house. So sorry, not going to be able to go solar at this time. Have a great day. Something kind of dismissive. And it's one of those things that it's really easy when you're getting roadblocks from people and you're getting a lack of response from people to just give up on something like that. I hit him with a message back that I'm sure a lot of people would, where I basically asked him, hey, are you moving anywhere around town? Like any of that, like same state? Are you moving out of state? I help people in lots of state, all that kind of stuff. And he was pretty just kind of like, not even dismissive, but just like not interested in this conversation too much kind of thing. But I did ask his permission for like, if there's a time I could reach back out when he thinks that he would be moving. And so we had set a time, or not even a time, but just a time frame for me to reach back out to him. And that was January of this year. I reached back out to him. He's in a small house now. It's not going to be a huge system or anything like that, but yeah, he told me when I reached back out to him, he told me he's still interested in solar. We got a system quoted for the new house, and we're supposed to sign up tomorrow. You know, all because I didn't throw that away. You know, it was something that would have been easy just to like move on with my life. I'm busy. I don't have time to think about someone who's giving me the runaround. But at the end of the day, these homeowners all are talking to you for a reason. They all have something motivating them to want to go solar in the first place. And if you can pinpoint that, if you can kind of figure out what makes them tick and what they're looking for out of solar, then unless they just completely change their mind or they just completely tell you they're not interested, you know, just stick with it, you know.
Dude,
And I use my
that is
calendar
great.
for that. So that's
Nice
another thing
job.
is, you know, task wise, like just put something on your calendar. If someone's giving you the runaround, they're like, I probably won't go solar for the next year. Put something on your calendar a year from now. If you're planning on being a solar professional for a long time, like you're going to be working then and you're going to be looking for opportunities at that time. And, you know, it's something that'll be there for you in the future, maybe.
That's such great advice, Justin. And I was going to say, hey, did you use some fancy CRM? Siri, just put it on my calendar. Like we all have,
Yeah.
we all use Google Calendar. If you don't use Google Calendar, I don't even know how you could work this
Right.
business or some sort of calendar system. Just put it on your
I don't
calendar.
even pay for a CRM. I just use Google Sheets.
No.
And
Yeah,
So,
there you go.
Justin and I both live in states that start with a K.
yep.
Kentucky,
Kentucky. Okay. Yeah.
Kansas. Powur's
Love it.
not in either.
No, that's awesome. That's great stuff. Matt, I see your hand raised and I want to share mine, but okay, Matt, and then I'm going to end and then we'll move on. All right. So many wins. Love it.
Sounds awesome. So I am like fired up out of my mind right now.
Woo.
Mostly just because I feel the momentum building, and so I had a sale last week over Zoom, California referral, and she actually just gave me 3 more referrals today. So the way that I got that referral was from 5 years ago. All right. I knocked on her son's door 5 years ago in my neighborhood that I used to knock with Sunrun. And it's been 4 years. Like I literally checked the last message that I had from this guy, and it was 4 years ago. And he basically just said, "Hey man, are you still in solar?" And I said, "Totally. I'm not with Sunrun anymore, but I'm actually with a better company now." And and I kind of like was respectful because he has Sunrun, right? So I don't want to like down talk his system that he has, but I basically said, yeah, no, it's I made a change just for a few different reasons personally, and yeah, you know what's up. He said, oh yeah, my mom really wants solar, and we have like a few other friends that I think are going to do it this year. So it's just like you never know when those seeds are going to actually, you know, start to grow. And that's just one of the things that I would say for everyone. You know, this is my 12th year in solar. For everyone that's still pretty new, just know that this is a long game. You know, this is a long game. And as long as you never quit, you will continue getting business, because when you plant the right referral seeds, you can't even stop them from growing, right? Like those trees will grow, and it's like it's out of your control at that point. So I'm just fired up. I feel like this year, 2025, is going to be a breakthrough year in my career. So just want to share that with everybody. Stay positive.
Stay positive. The referrals are huge. That actually kind of leads into my win. I think I told you guys I was following up with a guy since like November. He was referred, or no, September. He was referred to me from my enterprise installer in the Bay Area outside of his area. They got the lead from Yelp. They said, we don't service the area. Jarrett, why don't you crush this? I know you can handle it. So he trusted me with his reputation. He has like over 250 5-star reviews. Talked to the guy, built super rapport, back and forth. Timing's everything. Timing did not work out until a week and a half ago. Closed the deal. He was fired up, stoked. We did a loan. 2 hours later, after we closed the deal, who do I get a phone call from? His best friend. Wants solar. Been wanting to do it. has talked to other people in the past, but now that his best bud's doing it and with me and he edified me, it's such an easy, it's such an easy deal, right? Obviously, I'm going to take great care of him. I'm not going to treat it like an easy deal, but yeah, it's taking care of people. It's timing. It's following up. You cannot cheat the grind. Just stick with it and stay positive. So we will end on that note. Thank you, everybody, for sharing your wins. Appreciate that. Let's move on. Tom, what do we have here?
I wanted to share this video that I found that is also from a book author, and I thought that this would be interesting. This is power cues for salespeople and leaders to use. If you're on camera, if you can just do this with me, this is what she's going to talk about. Just do this. There you go. Do this. That's
Ready?
the power cue. Anyways, go ahead and play it, Jonathan. Let's just make sure. I'll give you a
The
thumbs
most
up.
important measurement on your entire body is the distance between your earlobe and your shoulder. There is a very good competent hand gesture, which everyone should know if you want to be perceived as higher in competence. It's called the steeple. This looks when your hands look like a little steeple. They're kind of relaxed and open.
It's a triangle for anyone that can't. It's kind of like a triangle.
Yep, a triangle. It's a power pose for the hands. Why? If you were doing this pose, you're showing I'm not hiding anything from you. You can still see my palms, but I am very relaxed and poised enough so that I'm keeping my hands together. Now be careful, don't drum. This is evil fingers. This is Mr. Burns, for those of you who know, right? So it's a nice still steeple. They rated hand gestures in a study, and they found that this was the highest rated hand gesture that leaders made was when they made this gesture. So you can try the steeple, just be careful not to do evil fingers with it. That's a high competence cue.
That picture of you on the front, what is that signaling?
So it's a perfect balance, right? So one, I have the steeple cue, competence gesture. Two, I'm angled towards you. My body is angled towards you, which is a warmth cue, that's fronting. My toes are angled towards you, which is warmth. I also have a smoldering eye contact look, which is high competence, which we can talk about. And I have an up face, right? I'm not in my resting bothered face. So that's a slight warmth cue.
That is actually how it makes me feel. There's an element of power, but it's not an intimidating level of power.
Because I balanced it with that warmth. Second, this is a weird one. The most important measurement on your entire body is the distance between your earlobe and your shoulder. This distance right here. Watch. If I were to do this in the interview the entire time, if I were to have a very small distance between my earlobe and my shoulder, I would look anxious. I would also have a really hard time giving you vocal power. Do you trust me?
No, you look nervous.
Right. I look nervous. There's a direct correlation between confidence and anxiety and the distance between our shoulder and our earlobe. And very quickly, we're trying to just assess someone the first few seconds of seeing them. We're trying to assess how confident are you? Can I catch it? We don't like people who are anxious. We don't want to talk to someone like this because we don't want to catch that anxiety, but we do want to talk to someone who has the max distance between their earlobes and their shoulder. So when you're in a first impression, also in your profile pictures, I want a relaxed distance, shoulders down, earlobes out, which is another reason why I like that this is how your table is set up, because it pushes my shoulders down so I have a max distance. That makes me look more confident, but it also makes me feel more confident. There's a look here. So when you do the steeple and then you roll your shoulders down and back, you will begin to feel more confident.
So whether you're on Zoom, on somebody's front doorstep, at the kitchen table, or you're taking a profile picture for social media or a bio, there's some cues that you can do there to be more trustworthy with people and to convey more of your authority in your work. So I've got the link. I've got a QR code if that's of interest to you to follow up on that book, which is called Cues, Master the Secret Language of Charismatic Communication.
Tom, I thought that was just the symbol for the Illuminati that everybody was throwing up. That's interesting to know that it's powerful. That's like it.
All right. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Jared. A few quick updates, guys, and we're going to get to the recognition training and hear from some top performers. So next week, we have a door knocking panel with some of the best door knockers on the team to wind out our door knocking series. We have our leadership summit, which is at the beautiful Cape Ray Hilton Hotel in Carlsbad, February 20th and 21st. And then SolarCon Las Vegas in April. You can get a discounted ticket. I'm putting the links in the chat for that discount through Powur. And then, of course, Powur World Las Vegas looking at the end of September. So just a few events for you guys there. I'm really excited about Leadership Summit just in a few weeks here as well. And then moving on to today's social media shareable of the day. This one's pretty cheesy, but I'll put it in the chat. I'm not sure what's cooler, the Lakers inspired room or the battery backup for the blackout protection with solar. What do you think? They must be a fan. No pun intended. So just a friendly reminder, we do have a power marketing Google Drive that I've assembled over the years, because that's what we do when we own our own business. We make our own flyers, documents, videos, social media for ourselves and the team. And I have a folder in here called Install Pics. And then there's a folder called Batteries. Surprise, surprise. So go ahead and grab that image in the Google Drive. There you go. And if you like that cheesy line or make your own, batteries and blackout protection, I think shout out to Jordan for this picture actually. But batteries and blackout protection with these fires and storms and energy and everything is so popular right now. So there is your social media shareable of the day. Also, a few of us are working on an accountability whereby we're going to hold each other accountable, have a chat tracking system, maybe a separate Facebook group. The goal will be to have 15 to 20 combos a day. We're looking at past clients, ambassadors, real estate professionals, recruits, and warm sphere and social media. So you must send 15 to 20 texts, calls, messages per day, and we're going to be holding each other accountable. And that's probably going to start in February. So if you like that idea, put a yes in the chat. If you want to be a part of that, put a yes in the chat. More info to come, but a few of us are loving this idea because we all know we don't do this crap unless we're being held accountable, right? All right. I don't think I have much else. Obviously, you read the newsletter. Good Leap TPO is awesome in vision. Some Solar Edge training is changing. The $1,000, guys, we have like 17 more days. Any TPO that you sell or you switch to Good Leap or Light Reach, you will get a $1,000 bonus at permission to operate. Shout out to the people on the leaderboard. The contest going till February 15th. And you can find other events and success stories in the newsletter. So today, one of the things I love to do is look at 2024 Rewind. Look at some of the top performers, recognition, and we want to hear from, 2 or 3 of the top performers and hear what 1 to 2 action steps they took in 2024 that led to some of their success and some of the numbers that they put up. And so that's what we're going to do today. And then we can open it up for some office hours after this. So Tom, I'll let you start recognizing the team under you with Power, the Solar Warrior Tribe.
Thanks, Jonathan. We always have fun compiling this information at the start of the year, don't we? So
yes, it should be mostly right. So bear with us. We have Tom's team, my team, and then we have some company metrics as well.
So we've got 3 different columns here: total contracts, total installs, and then recruitment count as well. Leading for top of contracts is Brian Rohn, Jay Gillespie, Mitch Casper, Chris Callier, Justin Girdler, who we heard from earlier in the wins, John Dix, former pastor, Jared Foster, Craig Bloom, Shane Rafferty, Bill Conley, Rick Joseph, Tyler Ingley, Seth Pearson, Pete Frost, Jeff Kincaid, Fabian Sparrow, Charlie Sanchez, Henry Macias, who I worked with starting a long time ago, Stuart Lewis, Darren Smith, David Ringo, Joe Hawley, and Joshua Price. And then we've got installs, Jay Gillespie leading the way at 52 total installs, Brian Rohn, Chris Callier, Mitch Casper, Justin Girdler, Bill Conley showing up again, Tyler Ingley, Craig Bloom, John Dix, Pete Frost. Notice some of those same names there. Chris Ebersberg, Jared Foster, Rick Joseph, David Ringo, Brian Go, Xander Lee, Fabian Sparrow, Josh Price, Breck Wiener, and Chris Sears. And then recruitment side of things, Tyler Ingley, Rick Joseph, Bill Conley, Craig Bloom, Emmett Summers, the OG that has done so much in our industry, Fabian Sparrow, Pete Frost, and Jared Foster. So congratulations to all of you on a strong year, despite a lot of the challenges of the year, right? This was not, I can say this after almost 2 decades, 2024 was not a normal year in solar. We usually have challenges every once in a while, but this was a very unique year. So congratulations to all of you on your performance. And Jonathan, do we want to bring some of these people up now or in a few minutes?
Yeah, let's call up 1 or 2 people from your team, Tom, maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes. What were 1 or 2 action items that they did that they can account for these numbers?
Yeah, let's hear from Chris. You were, 44 contracts, 31 installs. Would love to hear from you, Chris. How'd you do that?
I just put my fingers up like this, and then I went like this. Oh wait, no, that's wrong, isn't it? Yeah, it was a challenging year for sure. Don't get me wrong, but we just stayed diligent, and it was a team effort between my wife and I. And I think it's really 3 actions that we took. We focused on ambassadors, number 1. Every single client we got signed up as an ambassador, no matter what, they had to sign up. And it's kind of weird when we go into our projects now, if we're not telling the client how to go into their portal and grab their $1,000. And then JC drafted some email campaigns to attract ambassadors. So that was really critical. And that really helped because we needed some momentum to push us through. Number 2 is move your feet. You've really just got to get out and see people. We are in a construction home services business. I don't think you can hide behind your computer. I don't think long-term you can build a sustainable business just doing virtual activity. I just don't believe that. I know some people are successful in doing it, but I personally have to get out and see people. I got to go see clients. I got to get on their rooftop. That's just me. And number 3, what I really did is I just didn't lie to myself. I just didn't make myself believe in just bullshit excuses. And, if I'm in business full-time in solar, then I get up in the morning and I think, how am I going to impact the lives of people in a positive way? How am I going to impact homeowners and reduce their utility rates? How am I going to get out and post videos and realize that I'm in the solar business full-time? I see so many people they say they're in solar, but they don't work, and they never post videos, they never post content, and they just continue the lie. So we just got real with ourselves and struggled through it and slugged through it. And we look forward to 2025 being an awesome ass year.
Thank you, Chris. Congratulations, man. It was a good year despite challenges. So thanks for showing up, man. Justin, all the way from Kentucky, thanks for being here, by the way, with everything you got going on kind of in the back. But would love to hear your story of how you did this. What were some of the things that you could share with others that they could improve their own business?
Yeah. So as far as like action items, I mean, it's a lot of the same stuff as Chris just went over. I will add to that, like I send a thank you card to every single person who goes solar with me around the time of their install. And I make sure to put, it's all handwritten. I make it unique to things that we've talked about, something like that. So they know it's not just some, copy and pasted kind of message. And then I always include a PS at the bottom to mention their referral program once again. So, to bring up the $1,000, bring up if they're happy, I could help someone else that they care about as well. But as far as, I guess I was going to bring up 2 things. One is, because there's a lot of things that go into this, as far as like the proper way to go about solar consultation or how to capture sales, all that stuff. But I guess you got to start strong, and then you gotta end strong. So I would say, to start, the big thing is just get to know these people. They need to know that you're a human being. A lot of salespeople will tell you don't talk about yourself. I actually disagree. I think they need something that they can connect with you on. And I really envy everyone out there who can go to someone's home and shake their hand and pet their dog and talk about what I don't know, the poster of their favorite sports team on the wall or whatever you can see around you that's going to give you a way to find common ground with these people. But even over Zoom, when you're doing it like, like I do every single day, you got to take your time to get to know them and show them that you care. And get to know what makes them tick and what they're looking for. The other thing I'll say is when it comes to the follow-up part of things, just to kind of, talk a little bit more about what I was talking about earlier. Don't throw anything away. I call on these people. I remember I was a financial advisor before I worked in solar, and my mentor in that industry, I remember one of the things he said really stuck with me. We were sitting there talking and we're in a meeting and he gets a call from somebody and he, hater buttons the call. And he basically tells me that guy's going to get my business if he keeps reaching out. I've just been too busy to talk to him. There's a lot of people that we talk with in these markets. Like, for instance, I work a lot in Illinois, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. And a lot of the clientele there, I mean, they're all hardworking people that are making good money. They have high cost of living. Their electricity is very expensive. So solar has a really high value proposition. They'll save a lot of money, but these people aren't like dying by their electric bill, right? Like they're not struggling to put food on the table necessarily or anything like that. This is a good financial investment for them or a good move, but they're also not going to make it their top priority. So whenever you're calling these people and they're, dodging you or whatever, just don't take it personal and know that they're probably busy. And if you call enough times and you reach out enough times and all that stuff, you're going to reach them. I mean, solar only makes sense. There's very few people do you all talk to on a daily basis that you think, they're probably not a good fit for solar, right? Every single one of these has a high value proposition. It's just about sticking with it. And if someone tells you no, great, that's fine. They're off your list, move on to the next one. But if they haven't told you no, don't give up.
Well said. Well said. Thank you, Justin. Appreciate you, man. It's nothing fancy. It's focusing on the basics, right? It's good stuff. Good stuff. Bill Conley, would love to hear from you. You've been in solar for quite a while, and with power almost the same amount of time as me. What is it that you did last year that got you at the top of the leaderboard?
Oh, well, I stayed in the game, number one. I think that's the big deal. My mantra here is if it is to be, it's up to me, kind of old school, but it's very true. As independent contractors, we don't have anybody looking over our shoulder or holding our feet to the flame. So as much as accountability partners are a good idea, bottom line, it comes down to holding myself accountable. And I basically, there's 3 areas for me that are important: the platform and product knowledge. I got to stay up on top of what's going on in power and in the industry, especially with the things that are changing and have changed. So I'm weekly on the meetings, like the team meetings and market development meetings, that kind of stuff. But I also keep the idea that I cannot be a solar secret agent. And I know all of us in certain settings can be reluctant to maybe share who and what we are. I just do it wherever I go. I don't miss any opportunities to connect. So if I'm, thank you, Jonathan Bernasso, for a recommendation to join BNI. I did that, fairly early on. Got a lot of business out of that. I'm taking a break right now, but getting involved in other local events, realtor and builders exchange events, my church, the local gospel rescue mission, other service opportunities. Everywhere you go, you meet people, even at the EV charging station. So really, really working on making sure I get a chance to talk to people. One of the things I did this last year, or maybe 2 years now, is getting involved with Jeremy Miner's 7th level sales training. Really shifted my way of how I speak to people in conversations and, asking questions, being more meaningful and in intent. And then I think my success really comes from a passion for helping people. I believe that power offers the best solution for energy independence in the country. If I don't share that message, I'm doing people a disservice. So my advice is simple: share, share, share. Do it with confidence and conviction, and you're bound to have success.
Thank you, brother. That it's interesting to me. You are not new to sales, right? But yet you did Jeremy Miner's course to improve your skills. So I think that says a lot about what you're trying to do. So no matter how long we've been doing this, we can always improve and learn. So thank you, gentlemen. There you go. There you go. Jonathan, let's look at some power hitters.
All right. So the team power hitters want to recognize some people for 2024 performance. Starting from the bottom, people that have sold at least a deal a month. And like Tom said, it was a tough year. So these numbers, they should double in a year or two from now, right, guys? All right, Tracy Canoni, shout out to you for 12 deals. Kevin Rivas, Jesse on the TST team, Sinew Montoya, Daniela, Quinn, Daniel Stewart, Benita Shaw, 19 deals. Heshi Drew, 20 deals. Nicholas Messenger, shout out to you, 20 deals. Mike Winter, 21 deals, Mr. Social Media. Steven Reynolds, 22. I came in at 23. Avram is an amazing gentleman, 24 deals. Shout out Cynthia, 24 contracts. Omar Perez, 25. Isaac Grossman in Arizona, 25. Jonathan Wilson here on the call, Go Green podcast and team, 26. Genesis, 27. Mohammad, 29 deals. Brian Oates, a beast, 30 deals. Jarrett McAllister, my man, 33 deals. Tier 3 mentor on the call here. Ubaldo Torres, 36. Mike Craner, doing really well, 36. Mac McClendon, 37. Julian Todd Borden, stepping up his game. YouTube sensation superstar, 49 deals. And some of the best leaders, Eoin Carey, my man, 55 deals last year. And Jordan Shaw, 71 deals. These are contracts sold. We'll hear from one or two of you guys in just a minute here. Total installations. I'm going to do some first names here. Chris Bernasso, Ron, Fina, Avram, Omar, Nicholas Messenger, Genesis, Mike Craner, Kamran Khan, Mike Winter, Jonathan Wilson, Stephen Reynolds, Isaac Grossman, Daniel Stewart, myself, Brian Oates, Benita Shaw, Cynthia Alvidras, 24 installs. Jarrett McAllister, 24 installs. Ubaldo Torres, Mac McClendon, Julian Todd Borden, Mohammad, 37 installs. Eoin Carey, 37 installs. And Jordan Shaw, rounding it up, 47 installs. Nicely done, everybody. And then lastly, recruits, active recruits that are people on your front line. TST team does amazing here. So not sure if any of them are on, but Rachel, Zhang, Georgina, also TST, Chris Bernasso, Brian Oates, Jordan Shaw, Rod, Obi, Davis, Fund. And then the TST team just taking over the top 5 here. Andrew Herman, Mike, Jesse, Spencer, and their fearless leaders, Zach Bach and Spencer Frazier, holding down the 2 top spots. So first, I'd like a gentleman that I connected with a few years ago. He come from the video and photography. This guy's a talented, badass videographer I've used in real estate and solar over the years, but he transitioned to solar, and it was a tricky journey. And he's really been dedicated as of lately, doing a few really neat things, diving into some roofing business with solar. So Nick, I just want to shout out your success here. Probably wasn't even a full year, but you put up a lot of deals and some installs. You made it to the Mexico Impact Journey. So let us know maybe 1 or 2 things that really helped you achieve some of this success in 2024.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. Yeah, so when I first got started in solar, I was trying to kind of just do like what everybody else is doing. But I sort of started learning kind of the rough way, I guess, some hard lessons. One of the biggest lessons I think I learned was to just really be myself. So I read a book and I learned the philosophy of living in the blue ocean. And so I started applying that to my sales approach. I stopped doing Zoom calls. I started demanding that all my customers meet me in person. Just like Chris said, I started getting on the roof and I started getting more involved with the homeowner, being there in person. And I do have that luxury in Southern California where I can meet those homeowners, discussing where the battery placement's going to be, reviewing the electrical with them in person, letting them really visualize where everything's going to go. For me, that's been amazing, and that's what has helped me kind of take the next step, is getting off the virtual calls and focusing on the in-person. And then the other one, I don't hear a lot of people talk about him, but I started doing David Sandler sales training. I read a book called Selling to Homeowners, and that book completely changed my entire outlook on sales. The upfront contract, really going in there with an agenda and having a plan for our meeting has really just taken my business to the next level. So I can't recommend enough David Sandler and Selling to Homeowners. But yeah, living in the blue ocean, David Sandler, those are the two biggest things that I can recommend right now.
Wow. Nice work, Nick. Appreciate those shares, man. I think we need a David Sandler, Nick Messenger training here one of these days to learn more about that. All right, very good. All righty. I'm not sure if Mohammad or Julian are on. I think they may have had to hop off or they have work calls. Mohammad, you're here. Would you like to share, my friend? You were on the leadership council. You've had a lot of success. You have a few teammates. You found a niche in California and Illinois, and you're a full-time engineer, by the way. So share a little secret sauce for us, my friend.
Yes, thank you. Just kind of was on a call, just joined right now, so sorry I'm late. So a couple things I want to mention that really took took this to the next level is, first was leveraging the ambassador program. That was almost every single deal that I had an ambassador on it, and using that during my presentations to make sure that they sign up as an ambassador once they sign the contract, also led to more deals and more leads. The second thing was the mentor-mentee relationship. So more than half of my deals, almost 75% of my leads were in Illinois. And I had teamed up with Benita, which probably all of you know her. We kept really close, good relationship, keep good customer contact, follow up with all of our customers. Most of the ambassadors signed up under her. We worked those deals together throughout, from signing all the way to post install, helping them set everything up. So that was definitely, the sweet spot to follow up with both of us and work as a team. The last and third thing was also played a big role, was always playing the sense of urgency with the calls. So a couple years ago, California was the focus with the whole net metering, sense of urgency, pushing, getting as many deals as possible. Last year, very similar, but it was for Illinois. They had a big net metering change in Illinois, so starting in January 1st. So we pushed that and used that to our advantage to get people to sign up. Always have some sort of sense of urgency, whether it's price, whether it's new tariff laws, whether it's net metering, battery storage. People, when they know that they have open time, they always tend to kind of play it safe. But when there's something, time is ticking, they make a decision a lot faster. Yeah, so 24 was a great year for me. Hopefully we can repeat in 25, and we'll see how it plays out.
Awesome. Well done, Mohammad. I expect you to double these. No, I'm just kidding. 30% more. Okay. Otherwise you're kicked off. Just kidding. Nicely done, my friend. Nicely done. All right. So I believe, if correct me if I'm wrong here, I believe I asked Eoin and Jordan to also share one or two things that they can account for these numbers in 2024. So Eoin, I'll let you go first.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let Jordan go second, huh? Because he kicked my ass, which felt good. It feels really good getting second place awards like 2 years in a row. So I really like that guy. But on that note, too, I think Jordan and I don't know how many conversations we had last year, and then everybody within this platform that aren't even on our team, just phone calls to ease the pain, to talk about our wins and talk about our losses was a huge one for me because 2024 was painful, especially in the beginning. We had that NEM2 hangover. So I think where you have to embrace yourself, we have reps here in Illinois, we have reps all throughout United States. You need to learn. You got to learn the battery technology. We used to steer away and guide people away because it was easier. And really what you're doing is masking the difficulties you're going to face. So what I encourage everyone here is you walk your dog. What I did is I really embraced, I started listening to market developments from other leaders. I started listening to podcasts about electricity. We are selling electricity. We're selling batteries, and the excuses of like not understanding what that is, I'm sick of them. Right? You got to learn about roofing. We're penetrating roofing. So what I learned last year when times are slower is, well, let's jump in and embrace all of this technology and become experts and really learn what we're doing. So that was one of the difficult things that became a pain. And that's where I started seeing benefits. The other thing I encourage everybody is called a SWOT. So if you're not aware of what a SWOT is, you just get a business, you look at its strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So you could do this for Solar Edge, you could do this for Freedom Forever. Last year we had Sun Power, so what were the SWOTs with them? Because now when I'm going up against them, I know what my strengths and weaknesses are in comparison to them. So that was definitely a huge feature that I took on and learning about the folks about us. The other thing was loans. So 2023, up until that whole time in my solar career, I was all loans. And I had to swallow my pride. I had to learn how to sell TPO, which now we're having some difficulties on that side. And we also had to learn about these other technologies like Tesla. If you would have asked me at the beginning of 2023, oh, and what do you know about leases? What do you know about Tesla? I would have said they both suck, right? But I had to pivot and adapt. So that was really something that we had to embrace. And I got better at this by having conversations with people that are in this call right now. Jordan Shaw, Chris Collier, all of these things are things that you should be doing because I'll tell you right now, if you have a hard day and you have a significant other and you're complaining about your job, I have a secret for you. They don't give a shit. They don't. Okay. And you need to find a partner and a group of people. Bill Conley, Jonathan Bernasso, Cynthia. These are all people that they can call me anytime to rant, and I can call them to rant. Find your punching bag. Find the people that are going to war, the same wars that you're facing, because they understand your pain. Release it. If you don't have a dog, get a dog. That's better than a punching bag. Walk your dog after a shitty meeting, okay? And this will help you become a better person. And that would be kind of what I learned. And you see contracts signed to installation. I don't care how many contracts you sign. It's all about getting those across the finish line and being there for your client. If you are not texting them, if you're not following up with them and being their best friend, becoming that ambassador, that's huge. That's kind of the Eoin Carey KFS mentality, which is my new brand. We'll put that on another blast some other times. Anybody else has other ideas? That's kind of how I do it. You don't have to be like Jonathan Bernasso playing, was it badminton you play every day, Bernasso?
I play pickleball, okay, Eoin?
Right.
Get off my back.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is you don't have to be the most healthy person in the world, but what you need to do is find something where your brain, if you're not aware, when you put things into your subconscious instead of the front page, you're going to embrace more ideas and ways of how you can talk to people. This is only done by doing things like working out, the ice baths, getting away from the computer, getting away from the sales. If you like obsess over the deal, you're like the desperate dude in junior high that's not going to get the chick. Or man, I know we have both sexes here, but if you're like too eager, too aggressive, it's like nobody wants to work with that person. Come in confident, and that's when you're going to get the wins. And I really believe having a subconscious comfortability with your projects, that's how you win. I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, Owen. Tom Cotter posting pickleball pictures in the chat there. All right, Owen, well said. All wise words. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for leading and running the market development meetings. And to wind out the last share, of course, the great Jordan Shaw, holding it down 2 years in a row now. I know these numbers are, half of what we actually want, Jordan, and we push ourselves for more. But if you can share some of the activities that did work last year for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Owen, for just leading that with that, because he's right. Just the mentality last year was it was a survival mode and a shift in our mentality on selling batteries and understanding that if you're selling savings, that's not what you should be selling. It's energy freedom. And I think that pivot in the mindset for last year leading into this year is getting comfortable with the battery conversation, getting comfortable with the energy freedom, getting comfortable with the fact that the utilities are going to ultimately fight every single time for what we're trying to do. And the faster we can cut the cord effectively, right, and put batteries in place is the best thing we can do for our homeowners, so we avoid ancillary charges and all of that. So one of the things that I really wanted to make sure that I got involved and just set my mindset was just between Owen and I and the rest of the team, and we were talking back and forth with the batteries and the architecture, was just making sure that we were the professionals on that side and understanding that we could call out the BS in the room when some customer was getting a quote for an undersized battery system, and separating myself from the pack of the solar bros on these forums. And when quotes were coming in the door, I got to the point where I had competitor sales reps calling me up and asking me for advice. And that is where you need to be. This is what I actually was able to do, is just to build an online brand and socially just kind of put myself out there, of just leveling up the amount of drops that I was doing and battery conversations and just being seen as the professional before I ever stepped into the Zoom room. I wanted my reputation to precede me before I ever had that conversation. And we look at these numbers, and yes, that was half, like you said, John, that's half of what I did the year before. We had that NEM2 rush, 156 contracts. I don't know if I've said this before. I don't think I ever want to see that again, just because of the amount of stress that was with that. The financials are great, but the amount of stress that came with that, I'm in a happy place between 75 to 100. I like that. But I really got out of my way, and I wanted to make sure that online presence was there. I did a brand overhaul. I did more social drops. Nick helped level up our brand with some awesome video drops as well. And really, I just invested in just being in the community and getting out of my way and not being worried about being a top personal seller, but being a better top tier 3. And Owen and I go back. Owen's like, I love being on that leaderboard, because the tier 3 is just, it's a great leaderboard to be on. And because there's a lot of level of trust that goes in inherently within the tier 3 space of just saying, we're going to help you get this over the finish line. And, some of us work better in the setter or closer model, right? Melia, lines them up and I can knock them down on that regard, right? But when you look at some of these, you look at these numbers and you're like, wow, I don't know, like, how do I even get there, right? I feel that I just assume, and I set myself a bar that I said, I need to be doing this per year, and I'm going to do this again. And then I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it again. So keeping yourself in a good, healthy mental state is critically important. I think one of the things that I did last year specifically was I decided to get healthier. I decided just to kind of drop drop some weight. I was running 215, 220. And I looked at myself and I said, you know what? I really didn't like that. And I decided to just cut out the alcohol. Went for 4 months. Through Power World, it was the hardest because everybody wanted to buy me a drink. Thank you for everybody that tried. But I just decided nope, I'm going to completely dry. And when I made that commitment, I set my mind on a different path. And I feel like that has really helped. Just make sure that my sleep is going to be consistent, make sure that my health is going to be consistent, that the only time I am drinking alcohol is celebratory or a social event or something like that. I'm not doing the excess amount. So these things were key elements for helping keep me at the top with that. And Owen, it's okay. Let's battle it out, buddy. Let's be within a couple contracts, man. I love this. We're gonna dominate, not just in California, but in Texas and Hawaii and these other markets that need our help. And I think that was key bits was really just keeping the health there, right? Keeping the mental state there, building brand awareness online, building a team environment, being able to get out of your way as a top seller and just being a top team player is the key. And just really just investing also into networking as well. I got out there and invested with that as well. So I think those are some of the key points I would say.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said, Jordan. Well said on multiple fronts there, guys. From branding to real estate offices to health. When that whole picture comes together, boy, are you unstoppable. All right. Appreciate all of your shares there. I got 2 more things here and we'll wrap up. Charles shared this in the webinar, but we did go over the company results as well for 2024. And so Joel, Rhino, Jay Gillespie holding down the top 3 spots. Those are high numbers that we all should be shooting for if that's in your goals. And then the top 15 to 20 as well. I'm just going to pass that for now. Top tier 3 sellers. Jordan Shaw, number 2 in the entire company. Eoin Carey, number 3 in the entire company. And Joel Gossett again, man, holding down the first position. Shout out to a few others here like Colby West in Las Vegas and a few others. Ishmael Broussard. I knew there's a few people that aren't necessarily under Tom or myself. So shout out to those of you, Lenny, Drew, so many other awesome Craig names here as well. Recruiters, again, Zach Bach, Glenn Charles, Spencer, as we saw, Andy Smith, and a few other names, Rick Joseph, Larry McKinley, recruiting and building their teams. Last 2 slides here. Top income earners for all of 2024. Charles Thompson, Joel Gossett, Raj Bangu, Jawan Liu, Tyler, myself in 6, Javier, Jordan Shaw holding down the top 8 income earner for all 2024. Jay, Brian, Jimenez Edgardo, Mohammad, shout out to you. Glenn, Danielle, William, Eoin Carey, Bill Conley, Drew Sugarman, Lenny, and Kevin Rivas, top 20 income earners. And lastly, Q1 2025 Leadership Council. These are the people you could bring your ideas and suggestions to. They can share them with the executives and Charles Thompson. And we're meeting every Wednesday at 10 a.m. to up-level and discuss agenda items and topics, how we can grow, how we can improve, sales up, cycle times down. That's the mantra, period. You can be part of the solution or you can be part of the problem. You decide which one you want. I'll tell you the first one is tied to higher income earners. The sooner you figure that out, the better. With that, I love today's training, everything that was shared, all the success stories, you guys. Stay tuned for the door knocking panel next week. Stay tuned for a call to action from Jonathan Budd. I'm going to see if I can get him on here. He had an all hands meeting with the corporate executive entire company on Friday on his birthday. And he is on another energy level right now. He is on fire. He wants blood. He wants to turn this up. He wants to roll out Power 4.0. He does not want to hear excuses. You know, we had to shed some employees for our sustainability and our resilience, period. And it's hard to let them go. But we have to turn this up now. these numbers, as much as we celebrate some of the successes, it was a tough year and we have to do more. You know, Cynthia and I were texting each other. There were months 2 years ago that she did 23 deals in a month. I did 29 deals in a month. Most of us didn't hit that last year. Guys, we got to turn it back on. We got to step it up. We got to have the accountability, the conversations, get after it, speak it into the universe. What you think about, what you write down will materialize, will come. Be positive, be part of the solution. And it's just going to get freaking better from here. I believe it. I know it 100%. Summer's around the corner. We have all the tools. We have the TPO. We have the battery. We have the pricing. We have insane commissions. We have millions of dollars in the bank. And what Jonathan has up his sleeve this year, guys, I can't even share the 2 or 3 things that he's doing right now. So just stay tuned. It's super exciting. Big thank you again. Tom, Jared, if you have any closing words, we can shut this down. And
I've just got one other thought. One of the things that I heard from a lot of the people that shared today, these leaders, is working with other people. You know, this meeting that you and I do, Jonathan and Jarrett, you know, this started a while back when we were at a, you know, kind of an offsite gathering together, and we were just kind of talking and said, hey, we both got teams. You know, I'm not on Jonathan's team. Jonathan's not on my team, right? And so we just decided to work together. You know, like Eoin and Chris work together on California Market Development Meeting. We have some amazing people in this community that can be a support to you and that can work with you, not just as an accountability partner, but, you know, sharing resources with each other. So don't be afraid to, you know, reach out to other people and work with other people that aren't even, you know, on your same team, so to speak. You can collaborate with each other and help each other out, right? That's a part of what this community is about.
Love it. And I just want to say shout out to all the leaders on there. I mean, great job, especially in a down year, but I'm looking forward to seeing those same leaders crush it this year, but also some new faces, right? Some new blood in there. Get inspired. Most of the people that you saw on those lists, they didn't even do solar a couple years ago, right? They grabbed the bull by the horns. They got inspired. They jumped all in, and you can do it as well. So with that being said, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you, everybody, for coming on Tuesday Training. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Ciao.